Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Rising. Saagar is back.
I'm back. We're finally back together, reunited once and for all. We've got a very good show for you guys today. We have Union Representative Scott Slauson. We have Corey Lewandowski, who's mulling a run for the Senate. Anthony Scaramucci is going to talk about why all of a sudden that he's speaking out against President Trump. And of course, the panel to debate the latest polling and the CNN climate town hall last night. All that coming up today on Rising.
What are you looking at?
Well, Democratic candidates faced off last night to defend their plans to tackle climate change. The event is something that matters to much of the base of the Democratic Party, which has undergone a remarkable shift over the last few years on this issue, particularly amongst elite Democrats. But accompanied by that is the same thing that happens when many of our elites decided to signal they're caring about something: fundamentally unserious policy. Senator Kamala Harris perhaps best exemplified just how unserious much of the climate proposals advocated by Democrats last night when she proposed nuking the filibuster to pass the Green New Deal, advocated for a ban on fracking and a ban on plastic straws. First of all, do we all really believe that she was going to end the filibuster for the Green New Deal after she's basically somersaulted around whether she backs Medicare for all? But I digress. Let's take a listen to what she said.
Do you ban plastic straws?
I think we should. Yes. I mean, look, I'm going to be honest. It's really difficult to drink out of a paper straw when you had, if you're just, like, if you don't gulp it down immediately, it starts to bend.
Yes.
And then, you know, the little thing catches it. And then, you know, so we got to kind of perfect that one a little bit more.
So you'd ban it, but rely on innovation.
I mean, we got it. Yeah, innovation is a process, right? You don't just do it. Innovation is a process. But you know, let's encourage innovation.
Wow. Banning plastic straws and water bottles from San Francisco Airport is about how deeply many of these Democrats appear to have thought about this issue. I searched through the transcript of Harris's question and answers from last night. The word China literally does not appear once. Instead, the senator talks about banning the technology which made the United States strategically energy independent from the rest of the world for the first time in its history, banning a consumer product which all of us love and has less than marginal impact on the environment. The Green New Deal is a very similar policy, something I know will anger many of you, because fundamentally it is a domestic policy. There is a strange obsession within much of the Democratic discourse, which insists that the United States is the chief evil in this world on a whole host of things. It's a blinding, self-defeating attitude. It ignores the reality, particularly on climate. You've heard me here 2 weeks ago say that if you truly believe in some of the alarmist rhetoric that we see from the climate movement, then China is an existential threat to the global order. Just look at how much more they emit than the United States. And guess what, folks? It's not getting better anytime soon. Chinese global ambitions will be an environmental catastrophe. China is our #1 geopolitical foe, economically, militarily, diplomatically. And if you accept Democratic framing, then it is the #1 threat to our environment. It's extraordinarily clear here that Harris and others last night were just trying to craft headlines and signal their wokeness to the Democratic base without actually thinking or wanting to do anything about the problem. We are in the fight for our lives with the Chinese, and if you truly believe this is an existential threat, then preparing this country for a new Cold War with China is the only reasonable way to face the problem. And I think, Crystal, the way that I'm coming at this is not, you have a lot of more establishment Republicans who will just be like, climate change is like not real. And it's like, okay, well, I don't think that's probably where we're at. But the way that we talk about this issue has to focus more on the global solution. And the truth is that these Paris Climate Accord type compacts are not the way that we'd have to go about it. It has to be an actual, basically knuckle drag fight between the United States and between some of these developing countries on the way that we structure our economies.
Yeah.
And I just didn't hear a lot of that last night.
I think that's fair. I mean, two things. Number one, if we aren't leading in this area, then we have no room to talk. So step one has to be getting our own house in order. Number two, a lot of conservatives have moved from denying the science of climate change to basically saying, well, China and India, so we can't do anything, and throwing up their hands. And that's ridiculous too. But I do want to say on the woke signaling of the Democratic elite part, like, you could not be more right. And this isn't just among the candidates, it's also among the sort of wealthy elite who fund the party, who are, happy to ban plastic straws and drive their Teslas, their like expensive electric automobiles, but they're much more uncomfortable with with any sort of systematic change that would really deal with the problem. Elizabeth Warren, I played a little bit of her answer on this like straws and hamburgers question, which is like, look, this is exactly what the fossil fuel industry wants you to focus on, these little minor inconveniences which have minimal impact on the environment versus the massive systemic change to that industry in particular that would actually have an impact.
And that's the difference between a serious candidate and an unserious candidate.
Indeed. Next on Rising, the United Electrical, Radio, and Machine Workers of America are feeling the burn.
So UE's Local 506 president explains why Senator Bernie Sanders has earned their support when Rising returns.